Hello there. Going on, everyone? How we doing today? Welcome to today's webinar, Instagram Part 2. Hope you were able to catch the first part that I did the other day. And if you didn't, you can always jump over to the YouTube channel where we upload our presentations. So today, and I should probably tell you who I am. My name is Bridget. I am the social media guru here at Realty Executives. And today we are going to be talking about marketing your Instagram business account. This is the part 2, continuing on from part 1. We did part 1 where we left off that we put together our account itself. And when we put together that account itself, we got into the mechanics of it. We looked at some lead generation from our friend Erin Chung. She had some really great tips on lead generation for your Instagram business account. So again, if you missed that, you can jump over to YouTube and find Instagram Marketing Part 1. But today we are going to jump into the marketing aspect of it, marketing, advertising, and a little bit of analytics towards the end as well, just to get you started, just to get you a little familiar with it. Also too, so it doesn't look so intimidating. Definitely don't want that. We want you to be comfortable. I want you to be comfortable using your Instagram business account. So you may be pressured, or maybe you feel pressure because your fellow agents are all over Instagram, and you may be pressured to be on Instagram because everybody else is there. But also too, just because everybody else is there doesn't mean you have to be, and just because everybody else is there doesn't mean they're doing it wisely. So let's not make any mistakes here, and let's get our strategy set, because Instagram is very different from other popular social sites. It requires a distinct marketing strategy. All right, let's go over these particular points here. I've got up on my screen. We're also going to talk a little bit more in depth here in this webinar to create a great strategy to market your business on Instagram. So as you can see, we're going to go through goal setting, your target audience, a competitive analysis, an editorial calendar, building a consistent brand, growing your follower base, and converting your followers into customers. All right. Before you start posting on Instagram, you need to ask yourself, or if you've got a team there, this one particular thing. Why are you on Instagram? As popular as the platform is, your answer shouldn't be because everybody else is, just what I said before. To be successful on Instagram in the long run, you must have a set purpose and goals so you can justify your time, energy, and monetary investment should you so choose. But there is no right answer here. Many e-commerce and physical product businesses are on Instagram to post and sell products to consumers. Maybe you're leveraging Instagram to share portfolio content so followers can see your product or at your service here in action. Or perhaps you're on Instagram to simply build brand awareness by posting motivational quotes and fun visuals. Well, you're also going to post fun visuals too. So many worldwide businesses or business with franchises share user-generated content so that followers can see real people using your product or service. Whatever the reason, be sure to define your Instagram goals first thing. Guess what? Your Instagram can have multiple goals. You can post product images while also sharing user-generated content. It's less about the type of post you share and more about why you're sharing them. And if you know the why, then you know how to measure your performance and use the Instagram analytics tools. I went over that, didn't I? I certainly did. All right, like I said, now we're going to go through a little more in depth here. You want to determine the audience you want to reach before you begin marketing on Instagram. If you don't have other marketing strategies in place, you want to draw from those and keep your efforts consistent. Don't forget to consider factors like age, location, gender, income, interests, motivations, and pain points. Don't know where to start? Well, monitor popular event and interest hashtags related to your real estate. Now, I mentioned hashtags in part 1, so if you need a refresh, jump back over to that. You want to see who's using and engaging with these hashtags and check out their profiles. You can also take a look at your competitors' followers. Instagram makes it easy to define your audience. After you determine your Instagram audience, do a competitive analysis to see what other marketers in your field are posting. If you already know your top competitors, start by reviewing their Instagram profiles. If not, search for terms related to real estate industry to find similar accounts. Conduct a quick audit of related accounts to see what posts are getting the highest engagement, what popular hashtags they're using, what their captions are, how often they post, and how quickly they're growing. This information can serve as a benchmark as you start growing your own account. While auditing your competitors' content, take note of any opportunities they might have missed. Adding unique content into the mix will help your business stand out from the rest. On average, brands post about 6 images per week on Instagram, which is over 300 posts per year. Did you catch that? One more time. Brands post about 6 images per week. That's 300 posts per year. That's a lot of content. At that frequency, it can be difficult to keep track what you need to post and what's already posted. Creating an editorial calendar can help you save time and manage your Instagram presence. Build in your calendar with some Instagram post types discussed last session that we heard from Erin Chung. Again, if you missed it, jump back over to part 1 over on YouTube and plan your captions, hashtags, and posting times in advance. Your editorial calendar is also a great place to record any key events to highlight your Instagram account. With an editorial calendar, you can keep an eye out for real-time opportunities instead of scrambling for last-minute posts. Random or disjointed content confuses your audience and can cause you to lose followers. To prevent this, maintain a consistent brand aesthetic on your Instagram account. I can't stress that enough. I've also got a really great webinar on creating your online brand. You can jump over to our YouTube channel to check that out as well. So you need to determine what your brand looks like by thinking about your brand personality. What are your brand values? How would your clients and agents define your brand? Are you bold? Are you playful, gritty, or adventurous? Ideally, brand aesthetic helps your brand become recognizable, meaning someone could see your picture in their feeds and instantly know it's yours without seeing the name. Once you determine your brand personality, refine your content to match. This can even apply to the color palette used in your photos. Brand aesthetic doesn't just apply to visuals. Aim to post images with your brand narrative in mind as well. Include compelling stories in your captions that can make your brand more relatable. Growing your followers takes serious time and energy. You may be tempted to take the easy way out and buy followers, but don't do this. I've actually seen this in action. I've seen someone buy followers. So one day they have like 300 people, right? 300 followers. And the next day they have 4,000. Then the next day they're back to 200. Wait a second. They started with 3, then they had 4,000. Now they only have 200. Well, that's because Instagram can figure this out pretty easily and penalize you for buying followers. Purchasing followers won't actually drive engagement, which is really what you need to ensure your posts are being seen. So when Instagram see that you purchased these things, they've got an API that's built in their, wish I could remember what API stands for at the moment, but in any event, they've got an algorithm built in that will find out that you purchased followers, and they will delete those followers. I mean, and for someone who's trying to figure out if you're someone they want to follow and, oh, they've got 4,000 followers, and the next day they see that you only have 200 followers, that's not really following the know you, like you, trust you scheme there, is it? So here's what you can focus on to build a following the right way. Make sure your username is recognizable and searchable. If people can't find you, they can't follow you. I mentioned this in my hashtag webinar. Jump over to YouTube to find the hashtag webinar about using instantusername.org. Yes, .com, instantusername.com. I can't remember it. Instantusername.com, it is .com. Goodness, why did I say .org? Who knows? So instantusername.com, that's going to help you make sure your username is consistent across your brands that you are, or where you're present on social media. If you call yourself one particular thing, Sally Sells Homes, maybe you have Sally Sells Homes on Facebook, but when you plug it into instantusername.com, it could be taken on Instagram. So you've got to figure out something else. And if you're changing it completely, you may need to change it completely somewhere else as well. So before you go making all these different social media profiles, do yourself a favor, go use instantusername.com and find what's going to work across all the platforms you're interested in. And even if you're not going to put a profile up there right now, especially a place like Facebook, you can actually just create the page and unpublish it. So that way, when you have the content, when you're ready to go, then you can push it forward and publish it. But if you find the username is available, go grab the account now. The next thing on Instagram you want to do is fill out your bio. It's the last thing someone sees before they make the decision to follow you, so be sure to include who you are and what you do. It's also the only place you can have a URL, as I mentioned last webinar. So that URL might take them to your Facebook page. It might take them to your website. Make sure it is correct. Once your profile is optimized, you want to start posting. And it's a good idea to populate your feed with 10 to 15 high-quality posts before you really start engaging people. If users visit your profile and find it empty, they probably won't follow you. Now, I had that same problem. Okay, so I'm a Zumba instructor as well. So I do have a Zumba Instagram as well as my personal Instagram. And I found that when I put everything up there and I put up one post about when I was having a class, the next class wasn't for a couple of days, but I didn't have anything in between there. So yeah, it was great that my friends came and liked my page and followed me there rather when that first post, and that's all well and good, but now it's stagnant. So you really need to get that content calendar going and really have that content put together. You then want to start following accounts that interest you and relate to your business. Think of Instagram like a community and look for other businesses in your area or influencers who might enjoy your product or service. As we saw the other day with Instagram part 1, where we were watching Erin Chung and she was mentioning different types of posts you could have to build leads, you could certainly post something about how one of her strategies worked and tag her in the post. You know, that's a really great way to build followers. If someone sees that a top influencer is acknowledging you, that's really going to make you stand out. So as you follow accounts, Instagram will suggest related ones that you can follow as well. I love when they do that. Then I forget people are there and I follow them back, so that's pretty great. After you follow an account, interact with their account. This is the most natural way to draw attention to your own Instagram account without being spammy. When you follow or interact with an account, the account owner will get a notification. This could prompt them to check out your account and start following you. Always appreciate your followers by responding to their comments and engaging with their content, which I can't stress enough. There are people who I sadly have followed and not done anything, or they've commented on something for me and I haven't done anything. I'm so bad with that. So yes, make sure that you are, oh, here it is. Look, I had a slide. All I had to do was keep clicking. Oh my goodness, I can't even sometimes. Oh, nope, we're not there yet. One more thing I want to mention. You want to encourage others to share your content. Invite brand ambassadors to share your account or collaborate with similar accounts. I'm going to go back to the fact that I'm a Zumba instructor, so I do try to tag the brand for Zumba, or if I'm wearing Zumba clothing. And sometimes they do repost or reshare or put it in a story. And that's really great when you see someone who's such an influencer posting your content. You know, it makes you feel like, hey, it's kind of fun. Lastly, be sure to promote your Instagram on other channels. Yeah, promote your Instagram account on other channels. Include an Instagram social share button on your website. Share your Instagram on other platforms, Facebook, your website. Sometimes the fastest way to gain more followers is simply to ask for them. You've got friends, right? Hey, you've got an Instagram account. Can you follow me, please? You never know when it's the same thing in your sphere of influence. You never know when the cousin of the sister of the friend is going to need to buy a house and you are going to be there for them. Okay, so once you've established a dedicated follower base, you can start converting those followers into paying customers. Got some strategies for you though. Okay. Promotions, such as deals, discounts, BOGOs. I know you're a realtor, so you know not all these things may apply, but just to try to get you thinking. So things like this and other offerings are a great way to drive first-time sales with your Instagram audience. Be sure to include what your followers need to receive the offer and mention a deadline to create a sense of urgency. If you could think of something clever to do like that for promotion, do it, man. And the same thing with contests. So what a better way to make someone a customer than by letting them try your product? Run a contest that requires someone to follow your account or post with a hashtag to enter. Charity. 81% of millennials expect companies to make a public comment or commitment to charity. Doing so can build affinity for your brand and help turn followers into customers. This is something that definitely is always a winner for getting people to know you, like you, trust you. If you're involved with a charity, if you're doing something, work with a charity, for whatever reason, it's just that automatic get you in the feels, and people want to know you, like you, trust you. Teasers. People got teasers, like we do the coming soon things. That's totally a teaser. So Instagram is a great platform to show your audience glimpses of new listings before they're available. While you don't want to spam your followers' feeds with only these kinds of photos, a few images can build excitement. Lastly, live launches. Consider showcasing a new listing or your service using Instagram Live. Then drive users to engage by including a link in your bio. Also, don't forget to leverage the link in your Instagram bio as well as your Instagram story highlights, as these can connect followers to your website, maybe a blog you have, any kind of other service pages that you might own as well. And if you're curious about story highlights, jump back to part 1 of this webinar back over on YouTube, part 1. I tell you about story highlights and how to do it. Ooh, a video. I sometimes forget that I put these things here. All right, our friends over at HubSpot have some Instagram hacks for you. Let's check it out.
No matter how much you've used Instagram, there's always a new trick to learn. So we've gathered a few of the lesser known Instagram hacks to help you make the most of the app. Have you ever been in a social media brainstorm and if only you could pull up that social video you saw last night, it would be the perfect example to kick things off. Turns out, if you liked it, you can. Just go to your profile and click the options button, then select posts you've liked. The bigger your following gets, the more people will tag you in their posts. You can find all of these under the Photos of You tab on your profile. If there's any you want removed, tap the 3 dots, choose Hide Photos, and check the posts one by one. If you're like me, you have one filter you use all the time. Good news, you can reorder the filters so your favorite is front and center. Start by uploading a photo. When it's time to add a filter, scroll all the way to the right and tap Manage. Hold and drag on the 3 gray lines to move a filter. Hit the white check mark to hide any you don't want to use. Speaking of filters, did you know that warm filters get more engagement than those that highlight cool tones? Test me on it. Try Lark, Mayfair, or Rise on your next post. I'll admit, this next Instagram hack is simple, but it took me a while to get. I wanted to insert a line break to separate my caption from the hashtags, but the return key was missing. All you have to do is tap the 1, 2, 3 button to bring back the return key. You could also put all of those extra hashtags in the first comment of your post to keep things uncluttered. Finally, let's deal with one of the biggest Instagram frustrations, linking to an external site. While you can't link in your posts, you can update the link in your bio as often as you want. Use your captions to encourage people to click the updated link in your bio. That's a wrap. Let us know any tricks we might have missed in the comments.
Great hacks over at HubSpot. Those filter things, even I didn't know that the warm filters got more interaction than cool tone filters. I don't even use a lot of filters. I'm always like, oh, my picture is so perfect, but I probably should try using some filters. And if you haven't tried filters, you should try them now. All right, the most important thing I think here is Instagram analytics. Why do I think it's so important? And I will say this for everything that I talk about analytics with. You want to know what's getting the most engagement. You posted a photo of your dog. That got more engagement than the photo you posted of your really great looking hamburger. I don't know. And if you laughed at it, I'm glad you laughed. But those are the kinds of things you want to see. I always find that when I post a video, that gets a ton more engagement than it does with a photo that's maybe an image of somebody who's doing something rather than myself. Again, I'm a Zumba instructor, and if I post a photo of a a picture I'm not in, maybe it came from their library of photos, I get less engagement. If it's me in that photo doing something Zumba, I get more engagement. If it's me in a video doing something Zumba, I get the most engagement, double than I do with any other picture. So this is why you need analytics, and it comes with a business profile. So if you have a personal profile on Instagram, you're not going to have analytics. If you have a business profile, you're going to have analytics. And this is important. So because Instagram doesn't have built-in in-depth and analytics platform like Facebook, you just need to keep on top of whatever you have right now until it becomes more robust. And I'm sure that's coming down the pike. So like I said, when you switch to a business account, you do gain access to some limited analytics, such as follower growth, impressions, reach, and engagement. And if you are familiar with Facebook analytics, you will know that some of these things are also on that platform as well. You want to access these by clicking on the View Insights option below your uploaded images and videos. You can also track Instagram impressions, spend, and engagement on ad campaigns through Facebook's Ad Manager. I do mention in part 1, when you are starting a business profile on Instagram, you need to have a Facebook page. That's just what it is. So jump back over to part 1, refresh yourself on that as well. While helpful, these metrics are limited to individual posts and campaigns, but you can access more in-depth Instagram metrics using third-party apps. What are those third-party apps? There's 8 million of them, so just Google it and see what works best for you. There's really nothing I can actually recommend for that. Individual metrics that you track on Instagram will vary depending on your goals. Like we mentioned goals in the beginning of this, but you should always keep an eye on engagement, which is your likes and comments, and your number of followers over time. If you're posting valuable content, your account will steadily gain followers and engagement. Whether or not you have the budget for more in-depth analytics tools, track these basic metrics to make sure your account is growing and performing well. Now, I'm pretty sure your head's like, you know that emoji, the little smiley face with the exploded head? That might be you right now. That's totally cool because it's a lot to go for when you're going to do a strategy for any kind of account. Building, it's one thing. You build it and it's all fun and you get to put the new stuff in. It's a shiny new toy and it's just, it's great. Like you got a present. But now it's time to really hunker down and get this done. So if you have any questions, that's my email. That's my phone number. Please feel free to drop me a line. I'm always happy to talk with you about building your Instagram marketing strategy. Again, I really hope you got something out of this webinar today. I know we all have some crazy busy schedules going on. So thank you so much for taking the time out with me today. Again, if you have any questions, that's my email. That's my phone number. Feel free to drop me a line whenever you can. Don't forget to check out my other webinars on Instagram and hashtags and creating your online brand, which all relate to this over on our YouTube channel. And our YouTube channel is located on YouTube at Realty Executives NJ. That's how you will find us on YouTube. Thanks so much for attending. Until next time.